I'm gonna show you a really, really fun and awesome card trick that you can show to all your friends, and this is what it looks like over here. So let's just go ahead and pretend that I'm at a party right now with a bunch of my friends. We're all just hanging out, and there's a deck of cards on the table that is actually not even mine. Let's say it's one of my friend's deck of cards that he brought. It's been sitting on the table the whole time. We haven't even opened it. It's just completely sitting there out in the open. And I'm gonna ask my friend, hey, can I actually try something with this deck of cards? I've actually been trying this really cool skill where you can name any card and then I'll find it instantly in like 2 seconds. And they say, yeah, show me, that sounds awesome. I say, okay, yeah, I'll try this. And I've actually been practicing this a lot. I can get this pretty much almost every single time. Not to brag or anything, but I'm pretty good at it. So we'll shuffle the deck and okay, I'm gonna have you name any card and I'm gonna find it instantly. So let's say they name a card, Queen of Hearts, okay? 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's kinda not really close at all. Okay, sorry, that was just a warm up. We'll try it one more time here. Okay, one more time, and actually name a different card this time. Okay, let's say they name the 2 of Hearts. 1, 2, 3. 3 of Diamonds, okay. Closer, but not quite still. No, I promise, I really can do this. I wanna show you that I can. You know what, I'll even bet you $1. I'll bet you $1, the next card you name, I'll be able to find it. And you know what, we'll make it even more interesting. I'll take the cards and I'll put them behind my back so that I'm not even looking at the faces of the cards, okay? So there's literally no way I could know, what card I'm even getting. So let's say I put the cards behind my back. Go ahead and name a different card now. Let's say they name the King of Spades, okay? I think it's right about here, King of Spades. Let's see if I got it. Here it is, right here. I actually turned it over in the deck. So, okay, there's the King of Spades. You know what? Let's actually up the stakes a little bit more. I will actually bet you $5 that I can find 2 cards that you name behind my back. So one more time, name a different card. Let's say they named the 4 of Hearts. Okay, 4 of Hearts. Got it, right there. 4 of Hearts, I flipped it over, should be right about here in the deck. Okay, so I found 2 cards. You know what, let's up the stakes even more. I'll actually bet you $10 that I can find 3 cards behind my back. So last but not least, let's say they name one more. We'll do the Ace of Spades. Okay, boom. There it is, Ace of Spades. I actually turned it over right about here. And there it is, right over there. So there's $10 riding on this, pretty high stakes. Of course, we haven't actually looked at these cards yet, so let's go ahead and take a look. And I'll just spread them out very cleanly here. The first one that you named, I believe it was a king or something. I believe it was the King of Spades, correct? The next one you named, I think it was the 4 of Hearts. And last but not least, I believe you named the Ace of Spades. And that right there is the trick. 3 cards found from a completely borrowed deck of cards. And that right there is the trick, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. All right, guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So recently, this has become one of my favorite effects, and it's a really, really cool variation off of an old classic principle, which is called the one-ahead principle. Basically, every step of the way in this trick, you are always going to be 1 step ahead of the spectator. That's how this trick works. And the best part about this trick is that it can be done with a completely borrowed and shuffled deck of cards. So it's completely impromptu. So without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial for how it's done. All you need is a deck of cards to be borrowed and shuffled. So we'll give it a quick shuffle just like this. You're gonna tell the spectators that you've been developing this really cool skill where you can actually have them name any card and you can find it instantly. Now, what I'm about to tell you next applies for if you guys want to actually do this as a bet. So if you guys actually want to go out to your friends and do this whole betting thing, I would recommend doing this first. But also, I would also just recommend doing this in general because it does make the effect a lot stronger in the end. What am I talking about? I'm talking about in the beginning of the trick when I have them name a card, let's say the 4 of clubs and I don't pull it out of the deck. I pull out a random card and I get it wrong. This is actually completely on purpose, and you want to do this if you're planning on actually betting with the spectator. If you do this wrong, especially if you do it twice, if you say, oh, let's try again. How about the 10 of clubs? And you get it wrong again. Now the spectator is definitely thinking that you can't do what you're saying. So when you are going to bet, the spectator now say, no, I know, I promise I can do it. I'll actually bet you $1. They'll be like, oh, that's such an easy dollar for me to win. So they'll actually be way more willing to bet money if they see you, fail the trick twice. But of course, you're just cutting to a random position and it's probably not going to work, of course. However, there is actually a chance that they can name a certain card. Like, let's say they name the 5 of hearts. This is just for an example. Let's say they name the 5 of hearts and I cut right here, and then boom, I get the 5 of hearts. That's like a total miracle right there. If this happens, you can actually let them react to it and it will be a total miracle hit and say, yeah, that was totally on purpose. I totally meant to do that. And then after this, you continue by saying, you know what, since I've only done 1, let's do 3, and this time I'll do it behind my back. And then you continue with the trick from there. But yeah, just in general, I would recommend doing this first phase of getting it wrong twice. So get it wrong and then get it wrong again. And this will make the spectators believe that A, you're not a good magician, and B, you're going to lose this bet if you're actually planning on betting your friends. So once you've failed this trick twice, you're essentially going to start the real trick, which starts out like this. All you want to do is shuffle the cards and get into a position where you are actually going to remember what the top card of the deck is. So the card on the very top of the deck, you're just gonna get a little peek at it and then hold the cards face up and go behind your back. So you go behind your back and you say, okay, spectator, I want you to name any card. And all you know is King of Clubs is on top. So they're gonna name any card, let's say the 7 of hearts. All you're gonna do is you're just gonna take this card that's on the top, the King of Clubs, you're gonna turn it over and you're gonna basically cut it into the middle of the pack. The only reason why you're remembering this top card is just in case they actually name this card first. And in that case, if they do, then you can actually do another miracle hit. You can actually flip the card over, turn it over like this and say, and look at that, in the middle, I have flipped over the King of Clubs. And then that can be the end of the trick right there, because that's pretty impressive already. But let's say they don't name the King of Clubs, and you're actually hoping that they don't name the King of Clubs, because this makes the trick a little bit better, because now you're gonna get to do 3 cards. It doesn't matter what card they name. You're just gonna flip over the top card, put it on the bottom, and then cut it into the middle so that it is now the only face down card in the middle of the deck. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna remember the card that they said, 7 of hearts. What I'm gonna do is bring the deck out, but I'm not gonna bring it down and show the spectator all the faces quite yet, because there's a chance the 7 of hearts could be on the top. So I'm just gonna hide this just in case. All I'm gonna be doing is 2 things at once. I'm gonna pull out the card that's face down. This is a random card, by the way, the King of Clubs. And at the same time, I'm also gonna be finding the card that they named. So I'm gonna go through. When I find the card that they actually named, the 7 of hearts, I can do 2 things. I can either cull it to the top like this. I can just peel it underneath and move it to the top. Or I can also just cut it to the top as well. So I can find it here, let's say right here, and I can just cut it to the top and then continue spreading and pull out the face down card. So now the 7 of hearts, the card that they first named, is on top, but you're gonna act like this card is the 7 of hearts. So now you tell the spectator, okay, let's do this again. And now you're already 1 step ahead of the spectator. So you're going to basically do the exact same procedure again. You're gonna have them name a different card now. Let's say they name the 2 of clubs. You're just gonna take the card that's on the top, which is the 7, and you're gonna turn it over, put it on the bottom, and then cut it into the middle. When you bring the deck out, make sure to cover the faces, because this is a perfect example. Look at this, the card that they named just so happened to be right here on the top, which is definitely not a good thing, because you're actually supposed to have that card face down. So if you come around and you see this card here on the top, you can just give it a little cut, or you can just instantly, move this card to the top, because you actually do need this card to be on the top of the deck. So just make sure that you cover the faces before you show the spectator. So I pull out this card pretending like this is the 2 of clubs, but I actually have it right here. And now for the 3rd card, exact same procedure. Let's say they name the Queen of Hearts. I'm just gonna take the card that's on the top here, turn it over, and cut it into the middle. And keep in mind, this is all behind your back. Bring the cards out, hide the faces, and you're gonna look for that Queen of Hearts. So I'm gonna find the Queen of Hearts. And as you can see, the Queen of Hearts was not above the selection, so that means it's below. So I just find it, I go like this, and I set it down, and now I continue looking for it. Here it is. I can just cut it straight to the top of the deck, just like this. So the trick is almost over. You say, okay, so here we have the 3 cards that I found, but of course we haven't looked at it yet. Now this is the one sort of sleight of hand thing that you need to do. You actually need to get this top card in a palm position. So there's 2 ways to do this. The easy way is to take the card and just push it forward like a centimeter, like this. And then you're just gonna take your fingers and push down basically on the card, and it will lift up into your hand, and you can get it into a palm position. And a palm position is held between the pinky and the base of the thumb, just like so. And just keep it natural. Don't like keep a super flexed hand like this, because that will obviously look very unnatural. And the more advanced way to get into this is you can actually do a one-handed top palm like this, which basically looks like you're taking your pinky here, pushing that corner up, and the card will go directly into your hand. This is the version that I like to do because it's the one that I'm more comfortable with. So what I'm gonna do is get in this palm position right here. Just palm this top card any way you feel comfortable. But before you do that, actually you wanna square up these cards on the table first. So square up the 3 cards on the table, then you're gonna palm the top card, and just on the offbeat as you say like, okay, so you can agree you named any cards that you wanted. You're just gonna take your hand with the palmed card and you're gonna drop it directly on these cards. So there's now 4 cards on the table. So immediately drop the card and slide the cards back on the table and pick them up. So that's the action that you're doing. You're just looking like you're sliding the cards and picking them up. But in reality, you're dropping that card on top. And then when you pick these up, you're just gonna immediately place them on the deck and spread off the top 3 cards. So all it looks like is I've taken the cards, pick them up, put them on the deck, and spread them off. But in reality, I've actually sort of switched out the bottom card for this top card over here. So now what I can do is square up the cards and end completely 100% clean. First card that they named was the 7 of Hearts, and I like to do this as a slow reveal one at a time. So there's the 7 of Hearts, here's the 2 of Clubs, and the last one was the Queen of Hearts. And at this point, literally the entire deck can be examined, and this is a completely borrowed, shuffled deck. And that right there is the trick. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I think it's a really awesome version of this classic one-ahead principle. And I love the fact that you can do it with a totally borrowed shuffle deck and you end completely clean. Everything can be examined. So yeah, I hope you guys like this one. Let me know if it works. Let me know if you guys bet your friends and win some money on this trick. That would be kind of fun if that happened. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.